allowed you to lose absolute all knowledge and worries of anything else surrounding it. And I think that's why this style of music specifically becomes so liberating and allows the people to really, us as an audience, to really submerge yourself in the present.
I think that's why we all connect through that. I think that's why this community is so big, and I think that's why thousands of people watch, and I think that's why we have friends and you make memories and the way music sparks memories.
And how specific song becomes an anthem for a specific group of people.
And that heartbreak, this song reminds you of that heartbreak you had when you were 17 and when you first fell in love. This was the song that was playing. Or when someone passed away, that song, you relate to that. Or when you graduated, this was the song that they were playing at the party.
Music is such a powerful
unifier of people.
Yeah,
forget everything else. Forget language, forget culture, forget religion, politics, everything. Just music.
Yeah.
It's like one of the biggest, that form of art, for some reason, us humans, like, it's such a genius invention. Whoever came up with that stuff of expression.
I don't think it was I think it's such a human thing that it was
just did
innate.
It, right?
Yeah, it was something that we just needed to do as a race overall.
It proceeds, the one person that you once loved, you'll never see again for the rest of your life. Lingering on this great cultural rubble, no one thinks you're in anymore. Those temples that are awe-inspiring on the surface only answer the prayers of the ignorant. Living in the pigden, sleepless tonight.
My God, that is so deep.
But Jesus, that's why it's a liberating song, because he's somehow expressing these big ass rocks that he's carrying in both his heart and his shoulders.
And the crazy thing is that
moral
we
rocks,
all
these are metaphorical rocks, not genuine rocks.
The crazy thing is that I find is that everybody can relate to this, no matter where in your life you are, or apparently what language you speak. You can relate to this whatever you are.
I don't want to die in failure and solitude. I don't want to live in the basement for the rest of my life. The great swindle of materialism lives like scurrying ants. Those who are uneducated don't feel sad. I don't want to die a failure in failure and solitude.
This is the chorus?
In the basement for the rest of my life. The great swindle of materialism lives like scurrying ants. Those who are uneducated don't feel sad. No, he doesn't feel sad. It's like, we have a saying like that, right, in English. Ignorance is a bliss.
Yeah,
ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, ignorance is bliss. But in this particular way that it's the context here is more like, even if you don't have the same opportunities as everybody else, don't feel sad because this is a rat race at the end of the day. And you're not missing out on anything. I feel like that's what the context of the chorus is more about.
I think it's more applicable to the whole meaning of ignorance is bliss. Those who are ignorant do not think this deep into our own existence, our own insignificant cosmic existence.
That's true.
That at the end of the day, it is.
Well, I hadn't been thinking about it. Now I am.
that at the end, because I think culturally as a world we have believed so heavily in materialism.
Correct.
We believe that those are the things that truly give you value. Therefore,
and that's the only logical search for success.
Yeah, like if you move away from the basement to a nice house, you're now successful.
Yeah.
That's that.
But
unfortunately, that's not necessarily true.
Exactly. Yeah. So the sad don't, the uneducated
ignorant do not
feel
do not discuss, do not theorize, do not philosophize this deeply. Therefore, they do not carry the burden of knowledge.
I suppose you're right.
That is the realization he has made. Unfortunately, in order to break off the chains, you have to acquire knowledge. In order to achieve success in anything, spiritual, mental, physical, you have to break through those chains and be, I guess, cursed to a certain extent through knowledge.
And then let knowledge be the damper of all things for the non.
And then it goes on to repeat itself. He doesn't feel sad, and then it resolutes with feel sad.
With a 7. To emphasize that,
damn chords.
Feel sad.
The song The Uneducated Don't Feel Sad was written and sung by the New Pants Band. Although the song still continues the catchy melody of the New Pants, the lyrics written by the creator Peng Li
The singer and guitarist. by
are a
the way.
little more sad. A little?
A little, just a tiny bit.
The song describes the creator's nostalgia for record stores and bookstores, his persistence in dreams, and his interpretation of loneliness and life. Also, music is a fairly lonely life.
I
so
also feel like if you
it might be
are
contaminated through the touring life, I think.
also there's something so really cool. I was watching Prince once speak about in one of his acceptance speeches for one of like the award seasons that he got awarded just before he died. He was saying like, you know, bookstores and disco stores and CD stores are still relevant, and I think that's such a cool way of expressing things, because it's like music and the industry, the materialism of everything has digitalized a lot of these things, and then we have lost the tangibility of art. And I think that from that perspective, you can really take into consideration, like if you're somebody who loved to go into a record store and pick, you know, vinyls out of the freaking carton boxes, you have lost that tangibility. So I understand the nostalgic feels of from the singer's perspective here.
It is the weird balance of material
Future.
things can also hold spiritual value or sentimental value that we should preserve.
Yes, yes.
But to a certain extent, you must also be aware of the trap of materialism. It's a really cool.
Yes,
it's a yin and yang, I guess, right?
It's a really cool balance to find, I suppose.
Use different music to fight against this ruthless life, expressing that in the face of life you have to persist and follow your heart.
Correct.
It's not terrible to have dreams, to have no dreams at this time. What is terrible is to fall into depression, lose the courage to face difficulties, and become numb to compromise. This is not the life we want.
That is such a brilliant freaking concept.
It's fantastic.
And it's so well exposed in a completely liberating chord progression.
There's very many layers to this song, and
yes.
you can interpret it in many ways. I think definitely the healthier interpretation of it all, it's certainly that do not fall in the trap of either materialism, and do not fall in the trap of nihilism either, that nothing matters, because things do matter. The reason why you feel the certain way when you hear this song is for a reason. Your emotions certainly do matter, and pursuing them, expressing them, and finding meaning and purpose, it's at the end of the day way more important and valuable than material pursuits. And what a great way to sort of acknowledge that meaning through music.
Absolutely
and learn
phenomenal.
such important life lessons that way. I did not want to make this sort of video very long or so philosophical.
So philosophical, but listen, some of these guys have a
They
philosophical perspective of life, and it's kind of unfair to listen to the songs and dive a little bit deeper into the lyricism and not understand to their full capacity.
Or just judge them just in a music criteria sort of way, because music critics, that is essentially what we would do. But that's like taking away
the true essence of the song.
Yeah. So I have a question. What are his interviews like?
Yes.
I think he would be a really great talker and stuff like that. I would love to at some point, you know, the bigger the channels grow and the bigger the community gets and stuff like that, it would be awesome to bring some of these artists on the channel, both on YouTube and here in Bilibili, and have sort of podcasts with them. I don't know if podcasts are that popular in China. I have no idea. Just sort of interviews, you know, but in a more relaxed setting. Obviously, we'll have to have translators and stuff. But I extend my invitations. We've spoken to a few artists and stuff like that. The language barrier is a problem, but I'm sure our team can handle translations and stuff like that. So let us know what you guys thought about it, and maybe who you would think would be like a really fun interview. I think he would be
really interesting to talk to, for sure. Yes.
Apart from that, all the best, guys.
And we'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for the constant support. We love you.